who toured the nation advocating for reparations in the 1890s. But never in this nation's history has the movement to heal the harms of enslavement, institutionalized racism, and the system of white supremacy seemed so strong. The topic remains untouchable for most elected officials, and the call for reparations has not yet garnered widespread public support. Polling shows that most Californians agree that black fellow citizens are still suffering from the damage done by slavery and Jim Crow, but they still do not support cash reparations. The California Legislative Black Caucus has introduced a package of proposals for bills that do not include 1 penny of cash compensation, restitution, or repair. Governor Newsom and other lawmakers have distanced themselves from the concept of cash payments. While Newsom is right, cash alone will not repair our collective harm, the state's goofy legislative package ignoring monetary payments is disingenuous. California lawmakers need to step up and put a reparations bill for cash payments on the table. The issue of how it is funded, the timeline, or whether it impacts our current budget challenges can be addressed. But we must strike while the iron is hot, or the window of opportunity will pass us by. If you agree that it's time for our lawmakers to add a bill enacting cash payments to their lineup, call them at 916-319-3868 and say, if it doesn't include cash, it ain't reparations. That's 916-319-3868. Tell him Callie House sent you. From Bruce's Beach to the California Task Force, the Golden State is a trailblazer when it comes to reparations. The world is watching. We must rise to the historical moment and set a precedent for cash payments along with legislative remedies and policies addressing the systemic badges of slavery and Jim Crow. We must insist on measures significant enough to help close the racial wealth gap. California must stand for cash, and the time for reparations is now. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Dominique DePrima. We welcome your comments.
I almost forgot this is a talk show. Because when I hear Mays and Frankie Beverly, it just does something to me. Let it ride while I talk, Miles. I can sneak in some more sound while I set this conversation. It just sounds so good. I am pleased to be joined in this hour by Chris Walker and Daniel Weatherspoon, who are part of the band TMF, The Music Forever. Let me set this properly. Daniel Weatherspoon played with Frankie Beverly and Mays for many, many years. And now, along with other Mays alums, frankly, the entire band, they have formed TMF, The Music Forever. Chris Walker is a part of that band. He's our guest as well in this hour. So in this hour, we'll talk to Daniel and Chris about Frankie's recent retirement announcement, about Daniel's time playing with Frankie Beverly and Mays, what occasioned the band leaving Mays after decades to start TMF, and the road ahead. That's a whole lot, but we got an hour to cover all that. Miles, turn that up a little bit, though. So, Daniel, I have seen you and Rome and the band and Frankie more times as you know than I can count.
Wow.
I am a Mays fan.
Yeah.
And when I saw this story that the band was stepping away and creating a new band, TMF, the Music Forever, I didn't know how I felt about that. But before I get to that part, just tell me what it has been like, what it was like for all those years on all these stages, spreading all this love as a part of Mays featuring Frankie Beverly.
Well, let me start by saying thanks for having us here.
My great honor, sir.
It's definitely a privilege to be here, to dive into what it is that you're discussing. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind blowing to understand the fact that these songs are 40 years old, decades old, and we could still go in a venue 10, 15, 20,000 people, and it's almost like the record came out yesterday. Just the energy and the love for it, and just there's no pressure, it was very unforced. It was just a party every night, night after night. Just a great celebration of music, and I had a blast. I was the latest member of the team, so I was only there maybe 2 years before we separated.
Yeah, but Rome was there.
Rome was there 55
years, yeah. And he's a part of this new.
Absolutely.
Yeah, TMF. There's a lot to talk about. Let me just breathe for a second here. Give me a track. Give me one of your favorite Mays tracks.
Southern Girl.
Miles, find me some Southern Girl. Yeah, that's a good one. it's hard. One of the things I want to talk about when we come forward, and Daniel's already teed it up, and every Mays fan knows this, and we laugh about it. We talk about it. How is it possible you ain't done a new record in 50 years? And again, you're selling out stadiums, as Daniel said, all across the country with no new music. But the fans love it.
They do.
We know every word.
Yeah.
I was telling Dan when he walked in, I've seen so many Mays shows. I know the run of show. I can tell you the first, second, third. I can tell you the whole run of show, as can all Mays fans. It didn't change a whole lot because there wasn't no new music. It was what it was. But every show was always amazing. Frankie has announced a farewell tour. He's announced his retirement. We'll talk about that for a bit. But we're going to talk about TMF, the Music Forever, and a great deal more when we come forward with Daniel Weatherspoon and Chris Walker, who I'm pleased to have right now on Tavis Smiley.
Agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Hey y'all, Mona Swain here from Target's new YouTube series, My Cart is Full, where we feature Black founders and creators highlighting their connection to our community. As an actor and content creator, I love using my voice to inspire young Black women who look like me. When it comes to feeding my shine, seeing myself reflected in Black-owned and founded products at Target brings me joy. Together, we are Black Beyond Measure. Learn more at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit-on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Less is more, so roll it back, everybody.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer Wet Jet works fast too. Swiffer Wet Jet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer Wet Jet and just spray, push, all clean.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
The smooth sounds of Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. Frankie Beverly, as you know, has announced his retirement and announced a farewell tour. But the band that has backed him for decades, for years, will not be on tour with Frankie for his farewell tour. I can see Rome right now down front doing his thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You will not see Rome on the stage with Frankie Beverly for his farewell tour, and some of us are sad about that. But it is what it is, and stuff happens. But Frankie's longtime band has formed a new band called TMF, The Music Forever. One of the members of that band who played with Maze is Daniel Weatherspoon. He's our guest in this hour. Chris Walker is also a part of TMF. He is with us, and he was the man with Al Jarreau for many, many years. He was Al Jarreau's musical director, co-vocalist, and bassist for a couple of decades, and so we know each other through our relationship with Al Jarreau, who I miss dearly. Chris was just reminding me, Tavis, you spoke at his funeral. I did indeed, and I miss Al Jarreau deeply. So you got some major musicians. Some let me say that again. Some real musicians,
Right?
Not the drum machine.
Well, we play instruments.
We play instruments, yeah, man.
Chords,
exactly. Melody,
right?
Yeah, whatever happened to melody. I digress. These are real musicians in here. So let me just deal with this, and then we'll move on. So as I mentioned, Rome and the band stepped aside, created a new band called TMF, The Music Forever. So Frankie on his farewell tour, but you won't see the guys you've been used to seeing for so many years. In short order, what occasioned that, Daniel Weatherspoon?
It was a long journey that just came to a head.
Yeah.
We have nothing but love for Frank. There's no tension. There's no animosity. We just our side of the table as musicians, and at the time, management just didn't agree on a few things, and we just decided to part ways. It really kind of came to that.
How is Rome? I know you can't speak for Rome, but you're his friend and his bandmate. How is Rome processing this? And I ask that because 55 years is a lot of time to give to one band.
Yeah.
And for the farewell tour to not include Rome, how is he emotionally processing this?
I think he's I would be safe to say his feelings are hurt.
Okay.
You know, from an emotional side, just because it was so relational for him.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of years to be in a relationship with somebody, and when you're that long, it goes past music. It goes way beyond music. It's a brotherhood at that time, and I'm sure there's a hole in his heart somewhere where he feels he could finish the journey out, but you know, times just didn't allow us for us to do that.
Yeah. So what does it feel like then to start a new band with somebody as iconic as Rome?
Yeah.
In the epicenter of it.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
Yeah.
I mean, we the thing that makes this unit special is we go out to eat.
Yeah.
We laugh. We talk. We
pray.
We hang. We pray. We visit each other's homes. I mean, it's a really genuine group of brothers. Yeah. And it feels very authentic. So it makes the stage easier. Yeah. It makes performing easier. It makes recording music much easier because we enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. Chris, how did you get pulled into this former Maze band situation?
Well, you know, I posted during the pandemic. I was posting 2 videos every week. And I'm a huge Maze fan, of course, for years. And I posted the song Joy and Pain.
Oh, yeah.
And somehow Rome's lady, Nell, saw it. And she showed it to Rome, and they were starting, you know, TMF. And she showed it to the guys, and they said, oh, yeah, we know that guy. That's Chris Walker. So they reached out to me and invited me on a Zoom call, but didn't tell me why. So in my mind, Barry reached out, and I'm thinking he wants me to sub on bass for him with Maze. I don't know, you know. So they invited me on a call and basically said, we would like for you to consider being our new lead singer. And I was like, what? Of TMF? Yeah. And I said, and they said, we're vetting, you know, about 4 of the guys. And I started laughing. I said, look here, fellas, the search is over.
We never got to him.
Yeah.
Search is over, fellas.
Yeah. We never got there.
I'm laughing, Chris. I tell this story in one of my books, but people obviously over the decades now have gotten to know me on radio and television for years, and I tell the story. This is the short version of it. My television career on the national scale, as people know, got started on BET. Everybody knows Tavis is on BET every night for years. The short story is that BET had decided that they wanted to do a new late night talk show called BET Tonight. And they didn't know who they wanted to host the show. And they had a long list, I kid you not, of like 25 people. And the list was very disparate. Snoop was on the list. Queen Latifah was on the list. All kinds of folk were on this list. This guy named Tavis Smiley was on the list. Had this long list of people they wanted to consider. And they didn't know what they wanted to do. It was a horrible way to start a show. But what BET did was to give everybody 1 week to guest host. And they were going to figure out somewhere in the process who the permanent host would be with a different guest host every single week. A horrible idea for how to launch a show. But on the flip side, it was interesting because in theory, you got different hosts every week, people who are known, some not so known like me at the time. But the ratings could have sustained, you know, that kind of process with these people who are, you know, tuning in to see Snoop host, Latifah host, et cetera, et cetera. Miles, cue up some Joy and Pain for me. I'm going to go there in just a second, sir. But the point is that I had this long list of people, and my agent called me and said, you know, here's what BET is going to do. They have you on this list. They want you to come audition. And I said no. Long story short, 3 times I said no. That's a hot mess. If they got that many people, they don't know what they're doing. There's too many Negroes on the list. I'm not getting involved with that mess.
I like this guy.
Yeah, man. So I'm not doing that. So I passed on it 3 times. Finally, she called back and says they really want you to do this, and it's great for you, for your career. I was just getting started. You'll get a sizzle reel out of it. You get a whole week of hosting these great conversations. I can take that sizzle reel, even if you don't like BET, and I can use that sizzle reel to sell you and get your own show somewhere down the road. So let's just let them pay for your sizzle reel, Tavis. I said, okay, in that regard, it makes sense. Long story short, she tells BET, I will do it. BET calls her back and asks, what week does Tavis want to do it? She said, I don't know that it matters to him. And BET told my agent, I kid you not, we're having difficulty getting somebody to go the first week. Nobody wants to go the first week. And she said, what do you think? And I said, well, you know my mantra, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
You gotta get
ready.
I got on a plane from L.A., I flew to Washington, D.C., I hosted the show for 1 week, and the rest, as they say,
is history, right?
Nobody else got a chance to host that show. And that's how Tavis got on BET.
Y'all got something in common.
right.
Yeah, and I was on BT for 5 years, hosting
yeah.
that show, and my career just took off. So I feel you, Chris.
Right.
When you said the search is over.
That's right.
The search.
Not in an arrogant fashion.
No, I understand. I understand. And just because I'm vibing right now. I'm feeding Al Jarreau in this room.
Yeah.
He's been in that chair any number of times. You and I were together, as I said, for 2 decades, and I saw you walk in with that beautiful pink jacket on. You know what my mind went to?
What?
The cover of the Breaking Away album.
Oh, right.
Can you see it now?
I can see it, absolutely.
It's all pink.
Yeah, that's right.
Al was wearing pink on the cover of that Breaking Away
I
album.
didn't even think about that.
I'm a fan, man. I
Thank
love
you,
it.
Al. Thank you, Al.
Yeah. So you got that Al Jarreau thing going, man. Just that pink outfit. So let's talk about. You got some music for you, Miles? I'm gonna take a break because I can do that. It's my show. Let's just play some Joy and Pain for a second, and then we'll come back and talk a little more. Just give me a little bit of that, yeah.
How come the things that make us happy make us sad? Seem to me joy and pain are like sunshine and rain. Joy and pain are like sunshine and rain.
So Chris, tell me, let it ride, Miles. Tell me what you posted that day that Rome's sister, Rome's woman saw that got their attention. What did you post?
Well, actually, this song.
Yeah.
I went to the studio,
Right.
got a band together, and recorded the track.
Yeah.
And so on social media, I posted the whole song, me singing it, that intro note. I held it as long as I could till I almost passed out. And it reached over like 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
And that led me to TMF.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, I have a quick story I want to tell you. I got my start in this business with Regina Bell.
Love her.
As a music director, I was 19 years old. Her first tour was opening for Frankie Beverly and Maze for about a year. So, of course, I wasn't familiar with their music before I started working with Regina, but of course, I used to watch their show every single night. And, you know, I did a duet in the show with her, and Frankie would be side stage watching and listening. So he came up to me multiple times and said, "Young man, you have a great voice. Keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna make it one day." So from the seed that he sowed into my life back then, and then to be in this position right now, it's God ordained.
Yeah.
You know,
what is it about this song, of all the songs on the Maze soundtrack, that you could have done and put out? Why this Joy and Pain song? What is it about this song that resonates with you? You did your own version of it, of course, but what is it about this song for you, Chris Walker?
Well, the lyrical content and just how it makes you feel. I mean, you know, not knocking today's music, but it doesn't feel like this. You know, and it's just something that it's beyond just the music and the melody. It's like a spiritual connection. I mean, and it makes you think of family, loved ones. I mean, it's like the world is one big party when you hear this song. To me, you know.
When I hear this song, Daniel, you'll appreciate this. My mind goes to the Superdome in New Orleans. Where Maze and Frankie Beverly for years closed the Essence Festival. And I can see 100,000 people. The lights are down. Everybody's holding up their phone or their lighter. And you just turn around. And I've been on stage, side stage with Frankie many, many times. Either on side stage or on the front row somewhere. But you turn around and you look back and you look up at that entire Superdome. And all you see are folk waving these lights. And this song is just rocking. And it is a vibe.
I'm sure.
It's a vibe, man. That's for us. It's a vibe for us in the audience. How does it feel for you when you see that on stage?
Well, it's like I was saying earlier, it's completely overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, even other artists we've worked with over the years, and it's just something special about knowing that music is unforced.
Yeah.
And that there's just an instant connection with the audience and the stage.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was magical every night. Frank would come out around that corner, around that curtain, and
with his white outfit on.
Yeah, and
the white hat.
And the roar in the room would just go up 10,000%. It's just special.
How did you process? One last question about Maze and Frankie Beverly, and we'll move and spend the rest of this show, the last half hour, talking specifically about the music of TMF and what you're doing. Just want to set the foundation appropriately and give Frank his props, of course, as we all do. How does it feel being on stage and watching and listening to an audience sing the lyric to every song, particularly when Frank's voice started to get challenged. When Frankie's voice started to get challenged, all the fans know he's had a number of surgeries and all that. But when his voice started to go, I've never seen anything like it, man. Where he's doing his best. Frankie's pushing it out, but the audience is carrying this Negro. They're carrying this Negro. They're singing everything and just carrying him. How does that feel when you're seeing the audience just carry your lead singer?
It just reminds you of the power of music. Yeah. I mean, it reminds you that the music is bigger than the person.
Yeah.
Regardless of who the artist is, if it's Frankie, if it's Michael Jackson, or whoever it is, if it's out, the music. When you have people that can pen songs to this caliber, to where you can just hold a microphone out for an hour, and they sing the whole show.
Man,
that just tells you that the music is bigger than anything. Yeah. And it's something you can't really put it into words. It's just to be in the room and be part of the party. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah. I hope this does not sound sacrilegious to some, but for those who have ever been to a Frankie Beverly concert with Mays, I've been more times than I can count. You'll understand my invocation, my use of this word. It's a spiritual experience.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It is a spiritual experience to be in that audience, man, when this thing is just vibing. It's an amazing thing. Daniel Weatherspoon and Chris Walker are our guests in this hour. Daniel played behind Frankie for years, along with Rome and all the other band, and now they've started their own band called TMF, The Music Forever, and we've had a great time talking about the music of Frankie Beverly and Mays, and now we'll spend the rest of our time talking about the music of TMF, The Music Forever, with Daniel Weatherspoon and Chris Walker, who I'm delighted to have in studio right now on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Justice Department is suing tech giant Apple for allegedly violating antitrust laws. The lawsuit, filed along with 16 state and district attorneys general, claims Apple has monopolized the smartphone market by blocking competitors from accessing hardware and software features of the iPhone. Attorney General Merrick Garland said if left unchallenged, Apple will only continue to strengthen its smartphone monopoly. The state of Georgia has executed its first death row inmate in over 4 years. 59-year-old Willie Pye was put to death late Wednesday by lethal injection after the Supreme Court denied his final appeals. Pye, who is African-American, was convicted of the kidnapping, rape, and murder of his ex-girlfriend. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Feel plenty good by incorporating Silk into your morning routine. Silk's delicious plant-based beverages help bring a daily dose of goodness. They are rich in calcium and a good source of vitamins A and D to support the health of you and your family. Shop wherever you find groceries.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For all the Grambling State alumni in the LA area and around the country, this is a fun time for you and your school. Grambling's men's basketball team, playing in the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history, beat Montana State Wednesday 88-81 in overtime in Dayton, Ohio. Grambling is the 9th HBCU school to win a game in the NCAA tournament. Backup guard Jamel Crawford scored all 19 of his points in the second half to spark the Tigers to a comeback win. The Tigers were down by 14 midway through the second half. Early Early in the season, Grambling was 2-10. Look where they are now. Next up, a second-round matchup Friday night against Purdue in Indianapolis. Purdue is the #1 seed in the Midwest Regional. The Clippers got back on track last night with a 13-point win at Portland, 27 for Paul George. James Harden had 14 assists. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce.
This election year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the place for politics, unapologetically progressive politics. And we've got two of the best and brightest to help you cut through all the noise. Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Corte. And at 4 p.m., it's Areva Martin in Real Time. He's the university professor and distinguished member of the White House Correspondents Association. She's a best-selling author and Harvard-trained civil rights lawyer. And they are both here every day to help guide you through all the this year, because you know it's going to get deep. Get your politics on weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with A More Perfect Union, hosted by Dr. Nee Corte and Areva Martin in Real Time, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during the final days of our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus 10% off all bases. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Made fresh daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Think about the way you make me feel alive. Girl, I'm satisfied, so satisfied.
It is the music of TMF, the music forever. And two of the band mates are here in studio with me in this hour. Daniel Weatherspoon and Chris Walker. Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up. Turn it up.
And I gotta let you know today. Let me love you. Let me love you. If you wanna be with me, you gotta open up what's in your heart. Let me love you.
It's funky, Daniel. It's funky. One of the challenges, it seems to me, when you've been in a band, as you and Rome and others were for so long with Frankie, is to step aside and find your own sound.
Yeah.
I was talking about Al Jarreau earlier. And I was saying that Al once said to me, Tavis, as surely as each of us has a thumbprint on our hand that makes us uniquely different than anybody else in the world that God ever created, we also have a thumbprint on our throats. How about passed out when Al broke that down? He was a philosopher, right?
Absolutely.
You got a thumbprint on your throat, man. And you have to find your own voice.
Absolutely.
The world is full of too many copies,
right.
Not enough originals. Everybody starts out copying somebody, but you got to find your own voice.
Yeah.
So when you've been doing it as well as you all did it for so long with Maze, how do you create your own sound, Daniel?
It's simple. Everybody's individual identity melts into the overall sound of the band. Bear sounds the way Bear sounds for 40 years. You know, he's always had his own approach. Calvin, the drummer, has always had his own approach. And we just marry those things. And over time, your chemistry forms your unique band sound. So we've taken elements of what we've did with Frank over the years, but everybody has their own personality in the band, and it just marries well. I marry extremely well with other keyboard player Vance Taylor. Jubu marries very well with Larry Campbell. We call him Bear Williams. Calvin and Rome, they lock in. Everybody just has a chemistry that's developed over the years that's making this sound the way it is.
Yeah. Chris, when did you know, and you sound good on that track.
Thank you very much.
You sound awfully good on that track. When did you know that it's one thing to tell them that the search is over, but it don't always work out.
This is true.
Yeah. So, I just went through that this week. I can tell my business, but I guess I will. We've been searching for somebody that we hired here at the station in L.A., and it lasted about a week. I've been searching for months. I thought I found the right person, and a week later I realized I hadn't. So it doesn't always work out. When did you know that you and the band, Chris, had made the right decision?
Actually, from day one, to be honest with you. I've been a fan of these guys for so many years. And in terms of bands, they're one of the baddest bands out there.
Oh, yeah. No question about that.
So for me to have the opportunity to be the lead singer with these guys, it's just amazing. And also, when we were in the studio, it's like things just flowed effortless.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, which, a lot of records these days, they don't, where everybody's in the room at the same time. Like, we do the song one take down, which something happens with the energy with all of us together. So, I knew it from day one.
Yeah.
I knew it from day one.
Give me another track that you like off this project, and Miles is going to pull it up. I want to just give the audience a bit more of the sound of TMF, the music forever.
Let's go to Choices.
Choices. Miles, while you're queuing up Choices, tell me how the band settled on. Well, he's got it. That's how. See how fast he is?
Yeah, he's working.
He's on it.
That's my boy, man. Turn that up, Miles Lowe. Chris didn't lie. They one of the best bands ever. It's a cold band. If you can find the right lead singer, that was the band was going to be all right.
Right, exactly.
There was no question about the ability of the band. The question was, who's the lead singer going to be? And I think they got this thing all worked out. It's called TMF, the Music Forever. The lead singer is Chris Walker, and the band formerly backed up Frankie Beverly, and now they got their own thing called again TMF, the Music Forever. Daniel, tell me about how that name came to be, because as you well know, when it comes to a band, you got to get the name right, man.
Got to get the name
right. Get the name right.
We have a member, Rome, who Rome is adamant about feeling he tags everything. But no, we wanted, originally we started as the Maze Factor, actually. but then we had a couple bumps in the road with clearing the name, so we kept the initials.
This sounds like a Prince story now.
Well, yeah. We started one way and ended up another way, but you know
that Prince story, right?
I know the Prince story.
Prince actually, God rest his soul. Everybody knows he's one of my best friends, one of my dear friends. He actually owns the Time, and that became a huge issue when they wanted whenever Prince had an attitude. I'm just going to keep it real.
Right.
I love you, Prince. God rest your soul. When that nigga had an attitude, he reminded them, I own the Time. so you can have some issues sometimes with intellectual property.
Yeah, we started one way, and we kept the initials, the TMF, and it just stuck. The initials stuck. The Music Forever represents what we're trying to do. We were born into this game. We're born in, music is just something we love. Yeah. It's a passion, regardless of if it's this group or solo records. It's part of our DNA.
And I think Rome came up with the Music Forever.
He did. He came up with it, and it stuck. It represents us well.
Yeah, it does represent well. Chris made the point earlier he didn't want to bash today's music, and we ain't got to bash the music today to tell the truth about this.
Right.
And so the question for me, Daniel and Chris, both of you, is when you hear that stuff, that good stuff from TMF, I hear melody.
Absolutely.
And I am troubled by the fact, and Al Jarreau, not just because it's many times, Chris, like, whatever happened to melody?
Yeah.
Man.
I know. Yeah, and see, as a songwriter, and Daniel as well can attest to this, I purposely have to write with melody and chord changes. And when I worked with Al Jarreau for so many years, he challenged me in that area as well. And I score music also. So going through scoring a lot of his music, you can't help but, learn how to change it up, write a bridge. When was the last time you heard a bridge in a song?
Oh, yeah.
So what we tried to do on this project was, of course, expand our writing capabilities and give people something to latch on to, so hopefully the songs will have longevity, like songs from the past.
Miles, I want to do a tribute to Al Jarreau. His name's come up so many times in this conversation. Find a song called Never Giving Up.
Yeah.
I'm going way back. Find Never Giving Up, and when we come forward, we're going to play that for you. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
What happens on Tavis Smiley is the talk of the town. You can now tune in to the Tavis Smiley Show weekdays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Catch Tavis Smiley on the 9s weekdays exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
I've been afraid that I had missed a chance of a lifetime. And by the way, I tumble with romance, girl, and I don't cry. But now I'm searching every star, searching near and far, until I find our one spirit flying high, flying high. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up, even when this life is over. Never give it up, never gonna give it up, even when this life is over. Never give it up, never gonna give it up, even when this life is over. I'll be content in time. I'll be content in time.
So, Chris, what was it like? You're now the lead singer for TMF, the Music Forever, and we'll get back to some of that music before we close this conversation. You guys sound awfully good, but so does Al Jarreau.
Oh, yeah.
All these years later. What was it like hanging out with Al for 2 decades, man?
Oh, man. It was, I was in college, the School of Jarreau. And, I mean, he has penetrated my heart. I've been a fan since I was in 11th grade in high school. And when I got that call to work with him, man, I dropped everything.
Yeah.
And said, how many opportunities does one get to play with their mentor? You know, so it's been an amazing journey for me. And I still honor him to this day. Yeah. Whenever I perform live, I still honor him.
I was just saying the other day that it's an amazing thing in life when your hero becomes your friend.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I love lyrics, and if you hear this song, he's saying he's never giving up.
Right, right.
That's it.
That's it.
Never give up.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet,
especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful they saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Sounds different, huh? This is Tavis Smiley.
So y'all got instrumentals too.
We do.
Surprise!
We ain't playing.
I see.
We ain't playing games.
It's a band.
Tell me about this track, Daniel Weatherspoon.
It's easy. It was a collab. I think this song was written in 10 minutes.
Wow.
We were all sitting in the room together, and Bear started with a bass line, and him and the drummer started vibing, and he came back in the room, and all of the scatting he's doing was live.
Yeah.
While we're recording, he's doing this.
That's that Al Jarreau.
Yeah, and we just hit record, and within 10 minutes it was done.
10 minutes.
Literally.
It's
one or two takes.
It's called Synergy.
Synergy.
Turn it up, Miles. In case you just tuned in, the band was originally called the Maze Factor. Roman, Bear, and all the guys, Daniel Weatherspoon, all the rest of them, played with Frankie Beverly and Maze for years. Have their own band. It's called TMF, The Music Forever. It started out as the Maze Factor. It kept the initials of the Maze Factor. It's now called The Music Forever, and it sounds good. It's the kind of stuff that can last forever. What's the big dream, Daniel? Now that you guys have done this, what's the plan, man?
The dream is to retire singing your own songs.
There you go.
the dream is to leave a legacy and leave a footprint in music. I want people to remember me not just for music or us for music, but just what we imparted in the community. And it's good to be a contributor. I say it all the time. It's great to be a contributor to good music and be a part of the family and be someone that can be talked about 20 years from now and say,
yes, indeed.
I remember that song. I remember that concert. You know, we want to be in them conversations.
You know, Q says all the time, Quincy, ain't but two kinds of music, right? Good music,
bad music.
Exactly.
Well, I hope you're on the other side.
Yeah. You want to be on the forefront of it.
Y'all on the forefront. And Chris, how does it feel for you after all those years with Al Jarreau to now be fronting TMF, the Music Forever?
I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
It feels great. I mean, the love, the camaraderie, it's just a brotherhood that's like no other. So I love it. And I hope that people will go out and get it. I mean, you know, it's currently available, and we just released it. And so support us. Come on.
It's called The Music Forever. And I've tried to give you a taste in this hour of what they are doing. You know what they can do, because we know what they have done. So we know, we know how gifted they are. Now they got their own thing. Now I'm thinking Heavy D. We got our own thing.
That's right.
Yeah, they got their own thing. It is called TMF, The Music Forever. And I have been honored in this hour to have had two of the band members of the group, The Music Forever, TMF, Daniel Weatherspoon, who played behind Frankie for all those years, with Rome and Bear and all the rest of the crew. And Chris Walker, who was with Al Jarreau for a couple decades, and now they've all come together for this new group called, once again, TMF, The Music Forever. Available wherever you get your music, and I encourage you to do so. Chris, good to have you in, man.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. Daniel, congratulations, man. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
That's our show. Just like that, 3 hours gone. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Friday. So tomorrow's the best of Tavis, Smiley. Until then, thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep the faith.